So now as we get into conceptual designs, you're going to actually see some artist renditions from the architects Perkins+Will of what this facility could potentially look like. Again, I just want to reiterate that these are actually conceptual designs, and by no means will look like the final drawings that we'll get when the facility, if the facility is approved by students in April. This is actually just an overhead view of the Hurley Administration Building and potentially what the University Union could look like. Again, you can kind of see a lot of the elements that we talked about throughout the floor plans. You'll see the Lyceum in the background. You'll see lots of glass within this facility. You'll see an architectural style that matches that of Hurley Administration Building, and a lot of outdoor dining that leads right into the facility. So we're hoping we're getting a lot of those concepts that students were excited about. This next slide is really just a proportion analysis of how the architects actually took the Hurley Administration Building and looked at the mass and glass of the building and really kind of pulled that out, looked at some of the columns, looked at how the columns would look if they were pulled away from the building, and then actually spun those columns, making sure that we match that Georgian architecture and the brick that everybody has come to love with the Hurley Administration Building. But they've taken a lot of thought into how this building can look very modern but match the facade of the Hurley Administration Building. So as we look at this first conceptual drawing or set of plans, you'll notice this is actually a view from the Hurley Administration Building, or that northwest corner there. This actually gives you a view of that outdoor dining area. If you kind of look back there to the back of the building, you'll see the syndicate there with two layers. You'll have the second level, which is actually the garage door concept, where we could have music being played to the outdoor and actually have it being played indoors as well. And then that mezzanine level that's actually up there on the third level as well. Another important feature that you can see from this conceptual drawing is right there in the middle is kind of this beacon that we're hope that will be lit green, so students wherever they're at on campus can kind of see the beacon to come to the University Union. And really what we tried to do is make sure that we had 3 beacons on various sides of the Union that kind of drew students toward the facility, and to give them the idea of hey, this is actually where the main entrance of the facility is, and this is where you come to get into the University Union. And you'll see that as we go through some more of these drawings. If you walk through the doors there of that lantern type concept that I talked about, you'll enter the Crossroads of the University Union, and here's the information center that you had previously seen on the site plans. If you go down the left hallway there, that'll be where the bagel shop, Avesta Dining is. Kind of to the left of that is actually the retail dining concepts where your Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell type options will be. If you go to the information center and you go down to the hall to the right, that's where your retail will be. Wells Fargo Bank, Eagle Images, all those concepts will be located down that right side. And then the other thing to point out that's really nice about this facility is that you're sitting here on the second floor. You can actually see all the activity that's going on the third floor and even up to the fourth floor. And you know that there's actually multiple layers to this facility, and you're not limited by a ceiling. You have lots of cutouts and lots of natural light within this facility. Now, I had previously talked about the conference room that was really nice and had a nice view of Hurley Administration Building, and this is actually that concept. You can see the drawing doesn't do it justice, but it's a very huge room with lots of glass, natural light that students can use for a lot of their important meetings, or they can go over here kind of the right and talk to people in the University Union administrative offices. But these will be really nice conference rooms that student organizations will get to use for free. Alright, as we continue on with this process, this will kind of give you an idea of what the facility will look like from that northeast corner as you come from Union Circle, and this will actually be a view of the University Union bookstore. As we go through here, you'll see the 24/7 access down there in the corner. Again, that idea of it's a lantern that'll kind of beckon students to come toward the facility. That'll be lit up. Hopefully we'll light it up green so students will know that that's a main entrance to the University Union. Right next to that beacon or that main entrance is the Avesta rooftop dining, that if people wanted to come out and sit and eat during a nice day, they could do that. But the idea really for this concept was make sure the bookstore had its own entrance and it had lots of glass, and that we really matched the architecture that was previously on campus, and you can see that in this conceptual drawing. As we go down to the next set of drawings, this will be actually a view from the Business Leadership Building or from Highland Street, as we look towards the main entrance for the Lyceum. Again, I'm going to point out that you're going to see that lantern concept beckoning you to come into the facility. To the left, you'll see the architecture with the columns that have been kind of spun, and you'll see that actually gives a lot of shade to the facility. Over to the left, you'll see a nice huge green area, and that's where Stovall was located before, but that'll be a nice programmable area for students where they can have live music, a large band going on, and entertain a huge crowd right outside of the University Union. And as you look at the right side of this concept, you'll see a kind of a gray kind of round area, and that's actually the new University Union Lyceum. The idea behind putting that concept closer to this entrance was that it was closer to residence halls and the main academic portions of the campus. If you walk right through those doors, it'll take you into the pre-function area along right next to the retail and the gallery area. To the right will be our art gallery, and if you walk up these stairs or take the elevator, it'll take you right up into the Lyceum area with our huge waiting area, lounge space where students can sit and hang out, or you can have a pre-function for a meeting or a conference that you have going on here on campus. If you cut the building entirely in half, this is going to give you an idea of what it'll look like from the Hurley side. This just kind of gives you an idea of how much activity can be going on in the facility, how many people can be walking up various sets of stairs, and then how it's cut open so you can actually see all the way from the first level to the fourth level. The one thing that's really nice about this concept, if you look right into the middle of the building, you'll kind of see an eagle, or the shade of an eagle in the backdrop there. And we're hoping, again, to make sure that we have lots of branding of UNT and Mean Green within the facility. So now that you've seen the conceptual designs, I just kind of wanted to point out a couple things or highlights within this facility. Again, the biggest one is that it gives us about 68% more student organization space. We have about 50% more food and service, about 47% more auditorium and meeting space, a lot more student affairs space. We have clear wayfinding, natural light, and a design that's sustainable. And students have been very, very large in the process, making sure that we kept to these concepts and that student organizations were well represented in the University Union Master Plan.